Okay, so you want to improve your English, right? And you want to do it without getting, totally overwhelmed.
That's familiar.
Yeah, well, the 7-day challenge you sent us, it's a really good place to start, I think. And we're here to kind of help you figure out not just what they tell you to do, but like the why behind it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And one thing that really jumps out at me is that the focus on consistency is really smart.
Yeah.
You know that saying, little and often makes much?
Right.
It's so true, especially for learning a language.
It's true. And they actually share that story about Priya, right, in the guide,
Oh, right.
where she felt like she wasn't getting anywhere. And then she started just tackling one specific thing each day,
Yeah.
like one skill. And then she started seeing progress in like a week.
Wow. See, that's got to be encouraging.
I know, right? It feels more achievable.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh.
For anyone who's feeling a little intimidated, right?
Right.
It's like, I always think about it like building a muscle. If you try to, do a whole week's worth of exercise all in one day,
Yeah.
you're going to hurt
Yeah.
yourself.
Right.
It's the same thing with language. Those small, consistent workouts over time
Mhm.
are going to be so much more effective than just trying to cram everything in at once.
It makes so much sense.
Yeah. And this challenge, it nicely breaks the week down. It's got daily tasks for vocabulary, listening, writing, reading, speaking.
Hitting all the bases.
Yeah. Grammar. And then there's even a day for reflection.
Oh, nice. So you're covering like all the essential elements of what people call, what is it, language acquisition?
Language
acquisition.
without burning yourself out.
Exactly, without spreading yourself too thin.
Yeah. Okay, so we're talking about language acquisition, but what does that actually mean? What is that?
So it's basically the process of how we learn languages,
All
right?
Yeah.
And it's not just, memorizing all the rules.
Right.
Or like lists of words.
Right. It's about really internalizing them so you can, use them naturally
Mm-hmm.
without even thinking about it,
Gotcha.
like spontaneously.
Spontaneously, yeah. And one of the, I guess, key principles of that is active engagement. Okay, so active engagement, what does that actually look like, though, when you're trying to learn?
Okay, so think of it like doing something with the language rather
Yeah.
than just passively absorbing it.
Okay, so not just reading it.
Right.
Right.
Exactly. Like, for example, on vocabulary day, right? The challenge, they have you learn 10 new words,
Okay.
but then you actually use them in sentences.
Okay.
So it's not just writing the definition down.
Right.
You're actually applying it.
That's where the active recall comes in, right?
Yeah. Active recall. It's so powerful.
What is it for people who don't?
So when you make an effort to try and retrieve information from your memory,
Yeah.
you're actually strengthening those pathways in your brain, those connections. Literally, it's like flexing a mental muscle. And that effort makes such a difference in how well you retain things.
Interesting.
It's amazing. The guide actually, they mentioned a student named Marco.
Oh, right.
And the worst time, he couldn't stay consistent.
Yeah.
And then he started rewarding himself.
Yeah.
Like when he completed a week of tasks.
Oh, that's smart.
That's making the process more enjoyable.
Yeah. Less of a chore.
Less of a chore, exactly.
Oh, I like that. Rewards.
Rewards are good. We all need rewards.
Absolutely. And speaking of staying on track, the source also talks about setting a specific time each day for the challenge. Why is that?
Well, habit formation is so important.
Mm-hmm.
And when you schedule it, a dedicated time,
Yeah.
you're basically telling your brain, hey, this is important.
Okay.
This is a priority.
Right.
And then over time, it becomes less of an effort.
Oh, okay.
It just becomes more automatic.
So it's like instead of just squeezing it in whenever you can, you're building a habit.
Exactly.
So then it's more sustainable.
Sustainable, yeah.
Yeah. That makes a lot of sense. Now, one of the big things they say is that if you commit to just 15 minutes a day, you can boost your fluency by 30% in 3 months.
That sounds amazing.
But what is fluency?
Yeah.
What do they mean? Fluency, what does that even mean?
Fluency is, people think of it as just speaking quickly.
Yeah.
But it's so much more than that. It's about being able to express yourself accurately.
Yeah.
Effectively, getting your ideas across.
Yeah.
With clarity.
Yeah, with confidence.
Confidence, yes. And yeah, that 15 minutes, it sounds almost too good to be true, right?
Yeah, it does.
But then when you think about, how our brains work,
Right.
it makes sense with the habit formation and, the learning.
Right.
It starts to make sense.
It's not about like cramming it all in. It's about, like you said, consistency and giving your brain the space.
Yeah, space and time.
To absorb it.
To absorb it, yeah.
Yeah.
And process it.
So it's quality over quantity.
Exactly. So
Yeah.
now let's get into some of the actual like daily tasks, right?
Okay, yeah, let's break it down.
Yeah, let's do that.
So vocabulary day.
Yeah.
How do they suggest approaching like the 10 new words you're supposed to learn? So they really emphasize that you shouldn't just be memorizing, like a list of words and definitions.
Right.
You really want to use them in context.
In context, so important.
So like instead of just writing down the definition, you actually try and create a sentence.
Exactly. A sentence that uses it.
That like actually uses the word
Yeah.
in a meaningful way.
In a meaningful way.
And this is where it gets kind of cool.
Okay.
Because they say you shouldn't just choose any random words. They actually say you should focus on words that are relevant to you.
Oh, okay.
Or, your goals.
Your goals.
So, for example, if you're learning English for work, you might focus on words that are related to your field.
That makes sense.
Or, if you're really into travel,
Yeah.
you might, learn words about different cultures or places you want to visit.
Oh, that's smart.
Right.
Yeah.
Personalized.
You're personalizing it.
It's personalized, and that's going to help you.
Engage with it.
Yeah.
Right. It makes it more interesting.
And it makes it more useful, too, because you're actually going to use those words.
Absolutely. You're not just learning random things.
Right, exactly.
You're learning things that are relevant to your life.
So it's about making the language come alive.
Yes.
For you.
For you.
And it's like, it's not just about vocabulary day. It's actually, that personalized approach is kind of a theme throughout the whole thing.
Okay.
It's not about following like really strict rules.
Got it.
It's about adapting the tasks to fit your style.
To fit you, yeah.
And what you like.
That's cool. And what you're interested in.
And that's actually what makes this challenge so cool. It's about empowering you to take ownership.
To take ownership.
Of your learning.
That's really cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got vocabulary day, right?
Yeah, vocabulary day.
Now, let's go to day 2, which is listening day.
Listening day.
So what makes listening such a crucial part of learning a language?
Well, you know how some people, like, they can read a language, but they can't speak it?
Yeah.
It's because listening is its own thing.
Okay.
It's a whole separate skill.
Yeah.
It's about, like, training your ear to hear all the different sounds.
Yeah.
And the rhythms and the intonation. It's like...
It's hard.
It's like learning a code, almost.
Right.
You know?
Yeah.
Breaking the code.
So for listening day, you're supposed to...
Immerse yourself.
Immerse yourself.
Yeah, for at least 15 minutes.
In English audio.
In English audio, yeah.
So what are some things you can do? Well, there's so many options, right? You could listen to a podcast.
Yeah.
You could watch, like a short video.
Right.
You could even tune into like an English radio station.
Whatever.
Like, the point is, choose something that you actually find interesting.
Okay.
Right.
Yeah.
And then as you're listening, you're actively listening.
Uh-huh.
You're trying to pick out, keywords and phrases.
Okay, so really paying attention.
Paying attention.
No, they actually even say you could use this podcast as a listening exercise.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Right.
Because then you already know what we're talking about. So you can just focus on the language itself.
Yeah, and how we're saying things.
Right.
That's a really cool idea.
Yeah.
And even if you don't understand every single word,
it's fine.
It's about getting kind of familiar with it.
Familiar, yeah.
The sounds, the rhythm.
Exactly. The language, like building that foundation.
So that you can actually understand.
Yeah.
So you can build on that.
Yep. And over time, you're going to start to understand more and more.
That makes sense.
Your ear will get used to it.
Right.
It's amazing how that happens.
I can imagine. Okay, so we have vocabulary day, listening day.
Mm-hmm.
What about if you really like to write?
Oh, yeah. Well, then day 3 is for you.
Day 3 is...
all about writing.
Writing.
Yeah. But don't worry. It's not like, you don't have to write a novel or anything.
Okay.
It's about just getting comfortable.
Yeah.
Expressing yourself.
Okay.
In writing.
Writing, yeah. So the task is you just write a short paragraph.
A short paragraph. That's it.
Okay, that doesn't sound so bad.
About anything. Whatever comes to mind.
So like what? Give me an example.
Like, what did you have for breakfast?
Okay.
Or describe your favorite hobby.
Okay.
Or describe, like, you look around the room right now, what do you see?
Okay, yeah.
Just describe it.
Describe what I see.
Yeah, like,
And what's the point of that?
So the point is to keep it low pressure.
Okay.
Right. And focus on writing those sentences correctly, grammatically correct.
Okay, so really thinking about the grammar.
Exactly. It's where you can really like put all those rules into practice.
Oh, okay.
Right?
Yeah,
You know,
yeah, that makes sense.
and it's a good way to like, build your confidence too.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. And just get more fluent in your writing.
And they even give some other examples in the guide,
Oh, yeah.
like describing a recent dream or your favorite place in your town.
That's nice.
It's kind of fun to think about.
It is. It's a good way to like get your creative juices flowing.
Right,
And you don't have to, be Shakespeare.
right,
you
yeah.
know. It's just about practicing and like
Just getting the words out
getting them out.
and not overthinking it too much.
No, not overthinking it. That's right.
Okay. And now, day 4 is all about reading, right?
Reading day.
Yes.
This is where we get to explore.
Explore.
Explore different, all these different genres
Uh-huh.
and immerse yourself
Immerse yourself.
in the written word.
So what are we actually reading?
Okay, so the challenge says to pick something in English that really interests you.
Okay, so it could be anything.
It could be.
So like a news article?
It could be a news article,
Or like a short story?
a blog post,
Okay.
a chapter from a book.
Okay.
It doesn't have to be like,
War and Peace?
War and Peace. No. It could be something simple,
Like
like a kid's book,
Okay.
even a recipe.
Oh, I like that.
Right.
Yeah, that's fun.
It's all about like exposing yourself to all the different ways that people write, right? The different styles,
Yeah.
the vocabulary,
Okay.
the sentence structures.
And as you're reading, what are you trying to do?
So as you're reading, you really want to try and pay attention to how the language is being used.
Okay. Right.
Do you see any words that are new to you? Any phrases that you haven't seen before?
And then write them down.
Yes. Write them down.
Yeah.
Keep a notebook.
Oh, like a vocabulary?
A little dictionary.
Like a personal
It's
dictionary.
your personal dictionary.
That's a great idea.
That's a great strategy for learning vocabulary.
Yeah, right.
Way better than just memorizing lists of random words.
Okay. That's really good advice.
So you're ready to step outside your comfort zone a bit.
Uh-oh. This sounds scary. What is it?
Day 5.
What's day 5?
Speaking day.
Speaking day.
Okay, this is it.
This is it. We're going to actually speak English out loud.
Okay. So what do we do? Tell me.
Pick an object.
Okay.
Any object, right, that's around you,
Mm-hmm.
and describe it.
Okay.
As much detail as you can. Go crazy.
Oh, well.
Yeah. And you can even record yourself.
On my phone.
On your phone.
Oh.
Yeah. And then you can listen back.
Oh, that's a good idea. So you can see how you sound
Yeah.
and hear what you need to work on.
Exactly.
So it's like giving a presentation.
It's like a presentation. Yeah.
To yourself.
But to yourself.
Okay.
Exactly.
I can do that.
Yeah. And don't worry about, making mistakes.
Okay.
It's all part of the process, right?
Yeah.
The more you do it, the better you're going to get.
The more comfortable I'll get.
Exactly. More comfortable. Exactly. And you know what? If you're feeling really brave,
Uh-oh.
they say find a language partner
Okay.
or like an online conversation group or something.
Okay. So you can practice with other people.
Practice with other people.
Okay, but what if I'm not ready for that yet? What if that's too scary?
That's totally fine. Start small.
Okay.
You can even talk to yourself in the mirror.
Okay.
The important thing is just to use the language out loud.
Get it out
Get
there.
it out there. Yeah.
Okay, cool. So we've got vocabulary, listening, writing, reading, and now speaking.
We've done it all.
I'm exhausted.
Oh, I know. But we're not done yet. Day 6. Day 6 is grammar.
Grammar day.
Grammar. This is where it gets scary.
I know. It sounds scary.
Yeah.
But it doesn't have to be.
Okay.
This task is not about, memorizing all the rules.
Okay.
It's about what?
Pick one grammar rule.
Just one.
Just one that you want to really understand.
Okay.
Right?
Mm-hmm.
Master it. And then practice it.
Okay. Do they give any examples of, what that would look like?
Yeah. They say, you could focus on past tense verbs.
Okay.
Past tense verbs.
Right.
So you could pick, 5 past tense verbs and write sentences using them correctly.
Okay.
But, you could make it more fun.
Oh.
Choose verbs that are about you.
Oh.
About your experiences.
Okay.
So instead of just saying, I walked to the store,
Right.
you could say, I hiked to the top of a mountain last weekend.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
Make it more personal.
Right.
And that way you're actually, thinking about the rule. Right. Yeah.
But you're also you're making it yours.
Engaging with it.
Engaging with it. Exactly.
Okay. So by focusing on just one at a time,
Yeah,
you can really understand it.
exactly. You're giving yourself the space to really get it.
Okay, that makes sense. So 6 days of practice, and then
Day 7.
day 7 is,
Reflection.
oh, reflection, like thinking about everything we've done.
It's about taking a step back
Hmm.
and, like, looking at what you've done over the week.
Okay, yeah.
What did you learn?
Yeah.
What did you enjoy?
Mm-hmm.
What was challenging?
Okay, yeah, yeah.
And they say, like, journal about it.
Oh, like write it down.
Write it down. Yeah. And make some notes, like
Yeah.
what worked well for you?
Right.
What did you struggle with?
Right. And then,
use that reflection to plan your next week.
oh, I see, I see. So it's
Yeah.
like you build on it.
You build on it. Exactly.
Yeah, so it's not just blindly following the challenge every week.
No. It's about, making it your own. Right. Using it as a tool for, like, your own personal learning.
Your own personalized learning.
Personalized learning, yes.
Yeah.
And that's what makes it so cool.
Okay, that's really good. But does this actually, does it work?
Does it actually work?
Yeah. They make a lot of claims. They say all these things
Yeah, they do.
about how effective it is.
Right.
But is it true?
Well, the good news is,
Yeah.
yes,
It is.
it is. There's actually research that shows breaking down your learning into small daily goals,
Okay.
like this challenge does, it can really help you remember things better.
Okay, so it's like, what is it? Rome wasn't built in a day.
Exactly.
Right.
It's like consistent effort.
Consistent effort, yeah.
It's better than just like one big,
One big...
intense study session.
Sure, yeah. No.
Okay.
Consistency is key. And you know why?
Tell me.
So when you learn consistently, you're actually building pathways in your brain.
Okay.
So, when you keep engaging with the language...
Those connections get stronger.
Oh.
It's like a muscle.
So it gets easier
It gets easier
to access it.
to access it, yeah, and use it. It's amazing how that works.
It's incredible how our brains work.
I know.
Okay.
So they actually, they mentioned a study
Oh, yeah.
where they found that people who learn consistently,
Mm-hmm.
they remember up to 40% more information
Wow.
than people who study like every once in a while.
That's a big difference.
It is. It's huge. So that really, like,
Highlights the power of
the power of consistency.
consistency.
Yeah.
So even if I only have, 15 minutes a day,
Yeah.
that's going to be much better
Way better.
than trying to study for 3 hours on Saturday.
Exactly. So that brings us back to that claim, right?
Yeah, the 30%.
The 30% in 3 months. It's ambitious.
It is.
But you're saying
It's possible if you're consistent, if you put in the
to
effort.
put in the work.
Put in the work. Okay, so they give us this challenge, this framework.
The framework, yeah.
But it's really up to us to do it,
You got to.
to put in the effort and make it work.
Yeah.
Okay. And what about staying motivated?
Oh, yeah. Staying motivated is key.
How do we do that?
Well, they have some good tips in the guide.
Oh, okay.
It's all about, making it enjoyable, making it sustainable.
Right.
One of the big things they say is choose things that you like,
Okay.
things that interest you.
So light.
So you love cooking,
Yeah.
read recipes in English
Oh, that's a good idea.
on reading day.
On reading day, right.
Right. You're a movie buff.
Yeah.
Watch a film in English
Oh.
with subtitles
With subtitles.
on listening day.
I see. Okay.
You get the idea.
So make it fun.
Make it fun.
Make it something that I actually want to do.
Exactly. Because when you enjoy it,
Yeah.
you're going to do it.
I'll stick with it.
You'll stick with it.
Yeah.
That's the whole point.
Okay. And they have some other advice too, right?
They do. They say set realistic goals
Okay.
and celebrate your achievements.
Celebrate. What does that mean?
Well, instead of like trying to become fluent in a week.
Right. That's not going to happen.
No.
Take it slow.
Take it slow. Start with learn one grammar rule
Okay.
or 5 new words
Okay.
each day.
Little tiny goals.
Little tiny goals.
Oh.
And then when you do it,
Yeah.
give yourself a pat on the back.
Oh. Okay. Like a reward.
A reward, exactly.
Okay. That makes sense. I like that.
It's about creating that positive
Vibe. Yeah.
that positive energy.
That positive reinforcement. Yeah. That will keep you going.
That makes a lot of sense.
So you don't burn out.
Right. Okay, so we've talked about the structure of the challenge.
Yeah.
We've talked about the research.
Or research.
We've talked about some tips for, staying on track.
Mm-hmm. But there's one more thing that's really important that the source material talks about.
What's that?
Mindset.
Oh, mindset.
Yeah, your mindset is so important
Huge.
for anything, but especially when you're learning something new,
Absolutely.
like a language.
It can make or break you.
Yeah. And they talk a lot about the importance of having a positive mindset, right?
Positive and growth-oriented.
Growth-oriented. Okay, what does that mean?
So it's about, like, embracing the whole process of learning.
Okay. Yeah.
Like, being open to it.
Open to it.
Yeah.
And instead of, like, seeing mistakes as, like, failures,
Right.
you see them as
Opportunities.
opportunities for growth.
Okay, yeah.
Every time you mess up,
Yeah.
you're actually learning.
Oh, interesting.
It's like, yeah, it's a good thing.
Okay, so it's about changing my perspective a little bit.
Yeah.
From, like, I can't do this
Yeah.
to I'm learning.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that ties into, like, self-compassion. Self-compassion. What's that?
So it's about, like, being kind to yourself.
Okay.
Like, it's okay, Learning a new language is hard.
It's hard. It takes time.
It takes time. It takes effort. You're going to make mistakes.
Don't beat yourself up about it.
Don't beat yourself up.
Okay.
Celebrate your wins.
Okay, yeah. Celebrate your wins, no matter how small.
No matter how small. Exactly.
Okay, so how do we do that? How do we, how do we practice self-compassion? How do we remember to celebrate the small wins?
Well, one thing they suggest is keeping a success journal.
A success journal. Okay, tell me more.
So you can, like, write down all your achievements.
Okay.
Like, maybe you learned a new grammar rule today.
Okay.
Or you learned 5 new words.
Right.
Or you just, you finished your tasks for the day.
Yeah, you stuck with
You
it.
stuck with it. Write it down.
Okay, and why do I write it down? What's the point of that?
Because then you can look back and be like, wow, look at all the things I've accomplished.
Okay.
It's like a tangible reminder of your progress.
Okay, so that's going to help me stay motivated.
It's going to keep you going.
Yeah.
Especially when you're feeling, like, discouraged.
Right, yeah, when it feels hard.
Yeah, when it feels hard.
Right.
Exactly. So it's like you're building
Momentum.
a momentum. Yeah, that's the word.
Okay.
And it's like that positive reinforcement.
Positive reinforcement.
Keeps you going. It keeps you focused on what you want to achieve.
Okay. Speaking of what you want to achieve, they also talk about having, like, a why.
A why. So important.
Why am I learning English?
Yeah, why are you doing this? What's the reason?
Right. What am I hoping to get out of it?
Exactly.
Okay.
Because that why,
Yeah.
that purpose,
Yeah.
it's like fuel.
Oh.
It's going to keep you going when things get tough.
Okay, I like that analogy.
Yeah.
Fuel.
Think of it like you're going on a road trip, right?
Right.
You got to have a destination.
Right. If you don't know where you're going,
Yeah.
you're just going to be driving around aimlessly.
Exactly. You're going to
Yeah.
get lost. You're going to lose your motivation.
So before I even start this 7-day challenge, I should, think about my why.
Think about your why. Exactly. What are your goals?
Yeah.
What do you want to be able to do with English?
And they also say something interesting. They say that the journey itself is just as important as the destination.
Oh, that's good.
Right.
That's so true.
So it's not just about,
The end goal.
the end goal.
Yeah.
It's about enjoying
Enjoying the process.
the process.
Yeah.
Embrace the challenges.
Just challenges.
Celebrate the wins.
Celebrate the wins, but most importantly,
Yeah.
have fun.
Have fun. Yes. That's the key.
Learning a language,
It shouldn't be a chore.
it should be fun. It should be an adventure,
An adventure.
like a chance to grow as a person. It's exactly. To explore new things.
Yeah.
Connect with, different cultures.
Yeah. Open up your world.
Open up your world. I love that.
It's like, what is it? A journey of 1,000 miles begins with a single step.
That's a good one.
Right.
Yeah.
So every little step you take
Mm-hmm.
gets you closer to fluency.
Exactly.
Speaking of journeys, this deep dive has been quite a journey.
It has.
We've covered so much about the 7-day challenge.
We have. We really broke it down.
We did.
But, before we go,
Yeah.
I think there's one more thing we should touch on.
Okay, what's that?
Mindset.
Oh, right. Mindset. Yes, they talk a lot about that in the source material.
It's so important.
It really is.
Like for anything in life,
Yeah.
but especially when you're, learning a language.
Yeah, they really emphasize having a positive mindset.
Positive, yes.
Oh, yeah.
And growth-oriented.
Growth-oriented. Okay, what does that actually mean?
So it's all about how you look at the learning process.
Oh, okay.
You have to embrace it.
Be open to it.
Open to it, yes.
Yeah. Yeah, okay.
And don't think of mistakes as like a bad thing.
Right.
They're not failures.
Right.
They're just like opportunities.
Opportunities.
Yes, opportunities to learn.
Okay.
To grow.
So every time you mess up, you're actually learning something?
You are.
That's a cool way to look at it.
Right. It's like a good thing.
Okay, so it's about like shifting my perspective.
Yes. From, ugh, I can't do this.
Yeah, I'm so bad at this.
I'm so bad at this, too.
Yeah.
I'm learning.
Okay.
I'm learning.
It's a process.
Right. It takes time.
Exactly. And that kind of ties into self-compassion.
Self-compassion. That sounds important.
It is. It's basically just being kind to yourself.
Oh,
You know?
like, give myself a break.
Give yourself a break. It's okay.
Okay.
Learning a new language, it's hard.
It is. It can be
Like,
frustrating.
It's frustrating.
Right.
You're going to, you're going to want to give up sometimes.
You're
Yeah.
going to make mistakes.
Right.
It's fine. Just,
Don't be so hard on myself.
don't be so hard on yourself.
Okay.
Celebrate the little wins.
Right.
Right.
Celebrate those wins.
Even the small ones.
No matter how small.
Right.
Okay. I like that.
It makes a difference.
So how do I remember to do that?
Okay, well, one thing you could try, they suggest keeping like a success journal.
A success journal?
Yeah, like a journal where you write down.
Oh, like a diary.
Yeah, like a diary of all the good things,
Oh, I see.
of all your achievements.
So
Like, today I learned a new grammar rule.
okay.
Today I learned 5 new words.
Right. I actually did my challenge today.
Yes, exactly.
I stuck with it. I
Yes.
like it.
It's a good feeling, right?
Okay, so why am I writing it down, though?
So you can look back
Oh.
and be like, wow, look at all this stuff I've done.
Oh. Like I'm actually making progress.
You are. You are making progress.
Okay, so it's like,
Yeah.
it's that reminder that I'm doing something.
It's a reminder.
Yeah.
And it's going to help you stay motivated
Yeah, especially when it's
when it feels hard.
when it feels hard.
Yeah,
Okay, so it keeps you going. It keeps you focused on your goal.
exactly. Speaking of goals,
Yes.
we talk about having a why.
A why.
Yes.
Like, why am I doing this in the first place?
Why are you learning English? What's the reason?
Why am I hoping to get out of it?
Exactly.
Okay, and why is that so important?
Well, because having that purpose, that
Yeah.
why,
Yeah.
it's like fuel. It's going to keep you going when things get tough.
Oh, like it gives me energy to keep going.
It gives you that energy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Think of it like you're going on a road trip.
Okay.
You have to know where you're going.
Right, you have to have a destination.
You have to have a destination.
If I don't,
Yeah.
I'm just going to be driving around,
Aimlessly.
Yeah.
With no purpose.
Exactly. You're going to get lost. You're going to run out of gas. So before I even start this 7-day challenge,
Yeah.
I should really think about that.
Think about it.
My why.
Your why.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah. What do you want to achieve?
What do I want to get out of it?
Yeah. And you know what else
What?
they say?
Yeah.
The journey itself is just as important as the destination.
Ooh, that's a good one. That's deep.
I know, right?
So it's not just about
The end goal.
the end goal.
Yeah.
It's about enjoying
Enjoying the process.
the process.
Yes.
Okay.
Embrace the challenges.
Right.
Celebrate the wins.
But most importantly,
What's that?
have fun.
Have fun. Have fun with it.
Because learning a language should be fun.
It should be an adventure.
It'd be an adventure.
Yeah. It's like this chance to
Grow.
grow, explore new things.
Meet new people.
Yeah. Connect with different cultures. Open up your world.
Open up your world.
I love that.
Well, on that note, I think it's time for us to wrap up this deep dive.
I think so too.
We've covered a lot. This 7-day challenge, it sounds like a really great way to improve your English.
It does, if you're willing to put in the effort.
Exactly. But remember, it's not just about, following the rules blindly.
Right. Make it your own.
Make it your own. Find what works for you.
Yeah. And personalize it.
And have fun with it.
Have fun.
Because at the end of the day,
Yeah,
learning should be an enjoyable experience.
absolutely.
So to all of you out there, get out there, start that 7-day challenge, and,
Happy learning.
happy learning.